Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Freedman, and we're coming to you today from legendary Fenway Park alongside Evan Macedo, Sapers, and Wallack. It's wonderful to be here today.
Hey, it is more than wonderful to be here, Jonathan. We are at Fenway. How many times in your lifetime do you get a chance to be here?
To be here with some amazing guests and some wonderful guests and legends in themselves.
And speaking of legends and amazing guests, we have another home run interview coming up. The one and only Priya Chanduraj, incoming president of FEI. Thank you and welcome to Radio Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you both for hosting me, and I'm really happy to be here.
It's a real pleasure for us to have you and to talk about the organization that you're the incoming president of. You want to tell our listeners a little about FEI and what it is that FEI does?
Sure. FEI really, for people who don't know what it stands for, it's Finance Executive International. It is a national organization of almost been there since 1931, and they have about 64 chapters across the U.S., and Boston is the number 3. Like, of the top 3, they are one of them. So we're really lucky to be taking over the reins of this organization.
And Priya, I'm going to give you a softball question because we're here at Fenway.
Yeah.
Who is the member base of FEI made up of, and who would be a perfect sort of candidate, if they're not in FEI, to hopefully join?
So really, any finance executives of all kinds of organizations across all industries, they are really an ideal candidate. And, for them, for having peer networking, their own professional growth, this is a great way for them to connect, especially now since there are a lot of new CFOs, controllers taking on these roles. They really do need like a peer network and a support. And this is a great way to engage.
And that's only one aspect of what FEI does. It's also about professional development and resources for people in the industry and learnings from various industries, not dissimilar to what you're doing today, spotlighting of an industry.
Yeah, absolutely. The goal is to be able to look at, accounting and finance is required for any industry, to be honest. When they open an account, like an entity, they really require the help. But they don't think about it then, they only think about it much later. So here, the goal for us is to really have everyone being more professionally developed overall and be a better leader for themselves, no matter which industry or where they are based.
And Priya, I know you have such a passion for diversity and inclusion. There's so many accomplishments that FEI has made this year on that front, and I know you have so many fantastic ideas coming up for when you become president in July of this year. Can you talk about maybe some of the improvements that have happened over this past year and where you're hoping to be next year?
Sure. So since, for the last 2 years, our focus have definitely been more on membership, and we have grown our membership base, especially more younger and women as well. So that's really improved a lot. We've had about 32% more women members since last summer, which is really a huge, effort on our part to be able to get there. And in terms of really looking at what we want to offer and how we want to offer, we have 26 partners. We have 5 platinum partners. And really, it's about the value we bring for them. And, having great events like this, like being in Fenway and to be able to host something like this, it's amazing for us. We're actually sold out today. We have about 300 plus registrants for this event. So having said that, I think it's really our goal is to be diverse in terms of events that we offer, the type of industries we're able to represent, as well as, also what we can offer to all our members, because they do come from diverse backgrounds, right? To going after more women organizations, more different types of industries that we can represent. I think that's really the goal.
So it seems to me that finance and accounting traditionally are industries that historically had been male dominated. Now you're taking the helm of a prominent organization as a women-led organization, soon to be. Do you see that as a trend? Are you seeing that overall macro trend amongst your membership base where there are more women that have joined FEI? You said in the last couple of years, but in general, more women in the field. Are there opportunities to perhaps mentor more women in the finance and accounting world?
Absolutely. I think, really it's an underserved, think about it when when kids are growing, right? Like it's not very common for them to take finance. They get overwhelmed. A lot of like women kind of think that they're not good with numbers. They can't really do that. But I think that's really like the wrong way to think about it. There are a lot of women-owned businesses today. There are a lot of women in the workplace, like you see around. A lot of women like everywhere. Look, I really think that it's a way for us to showcase who we are, what we do. And I'm not going to say it's only about women. I think it's really what is there in the population of a workforce. I think our goal is to get them to a place where they can network and be better leaders themselves. Because the more they see the environment, the diversity that they bring in their background, as well as their industry, their experiences, really make it a different way for us to showcase what our membership is based off as well, right?
And it's really fascinating because I think historically when people think about the finance role, they think about sort of the traditional industries, banking sectors or professional services or things of that nature. But we have so much more right here in Massachusetts to offer, whether it's biotech or whether it's education or, some of the traditional historical industries, fishing and there's a lot of really important industries. Are you looking at the opportunities that those might create for your organization?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I do want to represent as part of being in New England and Boston especially, I think like you said, like there's like a lot of startups start here and they go really places, really taking over that and seeing, okay, how can we really embrace that and showcase that as well? Because they do need finance executives in every part of the organization, right? So how can that be showcased? So look at events that basically showcase that, like you definitely talked about biotech, collaborating with other organizations that are already existing. So I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already there, right? It's really about building that collaboration because the scarcity on accounting talent, I mean, really financial talent is everyone knows that. So I think the more collaboration, the better we do overall because it's about the profession as well. And I think the goal here for us is to enable people to just be better.
And Priya, I want to talk about events for a moment. I mean, this is an incredible event in and of itself, but FEI puts a lot of time and thought into creating diverse events and having all kinds of networking and unique locations and professional development that goes into every event. Can you speak a little bit to what you feel is really attracting people to come out to all these wonderful things that we're planning and what you hope to do for some of your events when you're president next year?
Sure. So, like you said, I think diversifying the events, the participants, the speakers, all of these are key factors. But I think most importantly, it's the value that a member gets, right? I think it's really like if you have to leave your life now and go to an event, it's about really the value that you think it's worth it for you to do it. Especially today is remote work, hybrid work with all of those challenges, right?
I mean, I have to put on some professional attire and go out?
Yes, exactly.
To get out of my PJs?
Yeah. I think that makes it more challenging, right? So if somebody is really doing that, then obviously we're doing a good job. So I think the goal is to really do the wow factor for them.
Yeah.
So they're able to dress professionally is what I'm going to say and go. And I think it's also about like where we want to pick locations that are more fun. I think no more people relate to the same, go to a dinner and have like a formal dinner. I think that, I'm not saying it's not good, don't get me wrong, but I think it's about change and people are ready to do more experiences than just like a formal learning. And also people, the way they're learning to things is very different. So I think we also as an organization need to adapt to that and how we are able to look at events and how we offer them and type of experiences that they have. Like I'm sure people will have more fun at a whiskey tasting event than just a normal PD event, which is professional development event, right? But if you combine it, I think they'll have more fun.
And Priya, softball question here. I love the baseball puns, so I'm going to keep throwing them in. So if somebody wants to join FEI, what is that process like? How do they kind of get on our mailing list so they know about our events? Do our events cost anything to show up to them? How does the membership work? Can you speak about that for a little bit?
Sure. I mean, definitely we want people to come and, trial and test and see how we do. And, if they think there's value, they can go to the FEI website, FEI Boston website, which is financeexecutive.org, and it's the Boston chapter. That has more details, and I'm not going to bore you with what is in there. Like you can see all the details. But I think it's really about them coming into an in-person event because it's really about networking. I would really encourage people to try it. Because unless you put yourself out there, go and meet people, you're never going to know it's the right fit for you. Mm-hmm. And don't wait until, I mean, a lot of people are going through transition and things like that, but don't wait until you're there. I think it's a great organization to network early. Network is your net worth, and it is really true. So I would really tell people to, and I can speak from experience. Like I started in 2017 and I worked for a large Fortune 500 company. I had no one in the Boston network because I traveled pretty much every single week. And when I had like a daunting question, I said, oh, where do I turn to? And I found an event that FEI was hosting. I just decided to go try. And I mean, I've made lifelong friends from that. So I really think that it's a great way to meet people as well as in your profession, expand your profession.
Excellent. So it fascinates me that, you're a couple of months away from taking the helm, yet you have so many ideas and so much passion, obviously, and commitment. Is it, I understand that your term is a 2-year term. I don't know if you can be reelected for another 2 or however the process works, but for another 2 years. But it seems to me you're really going to hit the ground running. You've been thinking about this for a little while.
Yes, I worked very closely with the current president as well. So, and the rest of the team, I've been part of the board for about 4 years now, worked in different roles. So I kind of have a good idea, and I really want to make a change for our organization and to bring about the change that is required because of the population, right? It's about what we serve to members and what we offer, and I feel it's all about value.
Excellent. Well, it's been a real pleasure having you on Radio Entrepreneurs. Thank you for, reciprocal hosting. We're hosting you, you're hosting us. It's really a great opportunity. It's a fabulous organization. Encourage people if they want to join or they just want to come check out an event. If they could reach out to you or they just go to the FEI website. You want to provide the website again?
Yeah, it's feiboston.org.
Excellent. So if people want to check it out and have an opportunity or reach out to probably Evan yourself or Priya and talk about it or anybody else within the organization, learn
Sure.
more about the opportunities that exist, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, so they can definitely reach out to Evan or me, or we also have an executive director, Ali. So one of us will be there to help you answer questions, whatever. But really welcome anyone who wants to try, and looking forward to hosting you guys more.
Excellent. Well, appreciate you taking the time to come in and take a couple of swings in the booth, as it were. Our guest has been Priya Chanduraj, incoming president of FEI Boston. It's been a real pleasure having you on Radio Entrepreneurs, and I thank you to my co-host, Evan Macedo of Sapers and Wallack.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Excellent. And we'll be right back with another segment on Radio Entrepreneurs.